what? It's a camera, I guess. I don't know.
No, on the arch.
Why is the arch here?
Yeah.
The arch was built as a tribute to President Thomas Jefferson and Lewis and Clark. Jefferson was responsible for making the Louisiana Purchase. And in doing that, he had also set up several exploration teams to go out and look for an easy trade route to the west. Well, there was none. But what made Lewis and Clark so famous is Clark was an expert map maker. Lewis had been a presidential aide. In between Clark and they were into the science. They documented and mapped everything.
So they had it. So everything was.
Well, actually, none of the exploration teams were a success. They all failed. There was no easy trade route. But like I said, what made Lewis and Clark the most famous is Clark's excellent maps and Lewis collecting everything for scientific study and sending it back. And Jefferson, of course, for having the foresight to make the Louisiana Purchase, which more than doubled the size of the United States. And this is a tribute to them. Prior to the Louisiana Purchase,
For Lewis and Clark?
I'm sorry?
It's a tribute
It's
to.
a tribute to Jefferson and
Oh,
Lewis and Clark.
okay.
Prior to the Louisiana Purchase, the United States stopped right here. St. Louis was the end. Trappers and traders and different people would go out and venture into the unknown territory. They'd always rest in St. Louis, buy supplies, rest up before they went out there. And then when Jefferson bought the Louisiana Territory, that more than doubled the size of the United States. So this is a tribute to Jefferson and Lewis and Clark.
These are all the builders right there, the architects?
Well, the architect who designed it and had the main idea was Eero Saarinen, the gentleman in the middle. And then as they were getting this project underway, a lot of these other people were involved in getting it going. For example, Leonore Sullivan, the only woman that's under there,
Yeah.
she was a congresswoman. She was actually responsible for raising the majority of the money to build the arch. She is the one who got it from the federal side. The arch was built 75% federal government, 25% from the city of St. Louis. And the rest of them, Raymond Tucker was the mayor. I'm not a historian, I don't know all of them.
Did they have the total cost of what was the arch?
At the time of building, it was between $14 and $15 million. That was the total cost.
14, $15 million?
14 and 15.
And it was an 18.
Back then, huh?
Yes.
What year was this?
They broke ground February 18th of 1963. Then the last piece was put in place October 28th of 65.
That's history right there. That's where everything's supposed to stay, huh? That's art.
Richard Bowser up there, that third one down with the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
He was actually the designer who designed and came up with the idea for the tram system in the arch. Now, when Eero Saarinen had won the contest to build the monument of the arch for the government says, hey, that's great, but how are you going to get people up and down? Well, he did a little song and dance, and said, well, it's too technical to tell you right now. Let me get something a little more simplified so I can explain how I'm going to get people up and down.
Oh.
Then he calls his buddy Richard Bowser and says, hey, Dick, he says, I need an elevator system, quick. He says,
different one because he's supposed to.
because it's special made.
Yeah.
Well, he contracted Richard Bowser to do that work in the elevator system. He designed the tram that we use today.
That's the one that we're gonna get on. That's the one that he's talking about, right? We're gonna go first time right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
So, okay. Well, appreciate it, Mr. Steve.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Asking questions what makes my day go better.
Thank you. Grabé todo lo que dijo el güey. Aunque no entendí ni madres, ¿verdad? Pero. A little part of history. Oh, yeah.
That's a real horse, bro. That's a real horse, bro.
It's a fake horse.
Hasta secas, a real horse. Es un caballo de verdad. Las venas las llenan de silicón, güey. Le voy a decir a la Erika que va a querer uno de estos.
Please do not touch. Only live animals can grow new hair.
Only what?
Only live animals can grow new hair. El carrito de pinche Wells Fargo. Los zapatillos.
Our craft has not changed much, but our medals have. Compare the symbols on this medal to those of the past. What do they tell you? A century ago, we awarded these medals to Indians when we signed treaties with them. Now that the frontier has been settled, treaties are a thing of the past. And we give these medals as rewards to the Indian farmer.
Whoa, Mr. Charlie, that's cool. Let's go.
Hello?
You gotta go first. Say hello, Charlie. Yeah, here's the coin, bro.
Mr. Charlie. Pendejo. No me contestó.
Michael. These are real gold coins, bro. John Allen. Oh, Mr. Charlie again? Tiene ni camonadas de oro. I don't know, she like that.
Where's she at?
When I first came west in 1867, years in the saddle chasing Indians,
That's what I
I remember in the winter of 1870, we had 6,000 Indians to feed at Camp Supply. We were herding cattle for their feed, and I often had to ride the line alone at night. I felt wind and cold the likes of which I never had before. At least there was enough food that winter. It wasn't like
Ah,
that
la
in
verga.
Arizona.
No? That's like,
And they were starved.
Mitakuyepi.
¿Qué dice?
In 1868, men came out and brought papers. We could not read them, and they did not tell us what was truly in them. When I reached Washington, the Great Father explained to me what the treaty was and showed me that the interpreters had deceived me. All I want is right and just. I have tried to get from the Great Father what is right and just. I have not altogether succeeded. Omitakias.
See, well, history is people who didn't make it.
No mames, güey. Me topara este pinche morrillo en la noche, güey.
It's not girl, bro.
Y lloro, güey. Neta, lloro. No, es morrillo, güey. A ver, fíjatele.
Cultural diplomacy with the Indians requires the exchange of gifts. We brought peace medals to the Western Territory with that in mind. Now, when we sign treaties, many chiefs request them of me. A silver medal symbolizes a covenant between two nations. We agree to live in peace. We agree that some places will be set aside for Indians, and other places given to settlers.
Ok.
Yeah, but which places did you pick for you guys? Did you pick the worst ones for them, or the good ones for you guys, or the worst ones for same split, half and half? It's late, bro. Already said it.
¿Dónde vas?
You guys go around, come on, follow me. What's this?
Fruitful diplomacy with the Indians.
Mitakuyepi.
Go around and let's see.
La tuya, puto.
In 1868,
Can you tell me why not?
Mira el Michael. Ahí está el Michael.
Y el Michael es un güey. Ese es un güey. El cuerno es un güey. Está capado, mira. Los güeyes están capados y le cortan el huevo para que le piquen los cuernos y así pueden arrear y barbechar. A ver. Don't touch it, Michael. Michael, please don't touch it. Come on.
El Michael por los cuernos.
No, porque mira. You see that cow? You see? That's supposed to be like ¿la ves la marca? R?
Ajá.
That's supposed to be something for, like from that people.
Lo dice R1.
Ah, ese es el R1.
Hello, man.
Is there something inside?
Mhm. Ah, se están riendo, baboso.
Laugh is cool, bro. Oh, there's a beautiful. Laugh is good for the spirit.
Hello.
Somebody else push it. I didn't push it. I didn't push my car. Es un búfalo.
¿A poco?
Esa es la cola del búfalo.
Otro Michael.
Look at the camera to remember whenever they want to meet a fucking-
Otro Michael.
For you specifically, right?
Ah, ok, Fernando. Mira, son ardilla.
No, no es una ardilla, es un beaver.
¿Y cómo se dice español?
Se dice,
Beaver.
no,
Viver.
no se dice ardilla, no la farfalla. Se llama tepísculo de
Ah. Los güeyes son famosísimos por parar el agua en las pinches brechas. Los pisquetoloyos.
Look, I just thought of something big. Let's get out of here. Mira, esta es la historia de ella.
Women's history.
Let's go, bro. We're gonna make a big line before we go into that thing. ¿Me puedes tomar una foto, mi güey?
¿Qué es eso, güey? Ah, es una señora sentada.
¿Por qué? Look at this, my I thought they were pipes. We're gonna find.
These statues look real, huh? The ones that right here. Watch, look at this statue. This statue looks real. He's moving. Oh, it's a real guy. Laughing is good for the spirit, brother.
Making girls laugh is cool. Making guys laugh, not so cool. What's the good to these?
For other things, there's MasterCard. Ya pues. Mira, Abraham Lincoln. Sin barro el compa.
¿Cierto?
Mhm.